Yo, I hear back and cool. We are in here. We talking about training, nutrition, the importance thereof. Come on. Y'all like talking about drugs. Oh, you want a trembolona? Hey man, let me get a tremboloni sandwich. But y'all don't be eating the sandwiches. Like, come on. We talking for real, man. Back in the day. Back in back in the day, man. We talking about back in the day. We used to talk about training and nutrition. Kids would never be at the gym and start asking about gear. That's what cats do now. We see the biggest dude in the gym. You know what we want to ask him, bro? You ask him, nah, bro. You ask him. We ask him, bro. Well, one, we watch his training. I remember me and my boy Juan Gay. Like we would get the intel. He'd be like, "Yeah, man, I see that guy. He trains this and that. This is how he does X, Y, and Z." Like, oh, really? Word? Okay. Or hey, let me follow. Or hey, you mind if I tag along to see what you're doing or work out with you? Or hey, how do you do X, Y, and Z? How did you develop this? Training. We asked about the training. Now kids just walk up boldly. How scripture say, we come boldly into the presence of God, boldly into the throne room. That's how they walk boldly to ask you some illegal questions. What's your cycle? You ever take trend? Like, bro, you're 14 years old. You don't even need to know what trend. I didn't know what tremolo or nothing was when I was a teenager at all. Like, no, because Ziz. I ain't gonna. This is a case of like my era kind of messing it up. Ziz was older than us, but he died young. And the sorrow suspiciously, but he died young, probably on a roid trip. Roid trip meaning like because you had to go places to get your gear before. You couldn't just get them in the mail. You had to go somewhere where you run across the border, yeah, you had to do all that. And what will you bring? Yeah, don't forget, hey, to bring me back what I need tonight. See, I probably got the words a little wrong because it's been a minute since I even thought of that song. But that's what cats used to have to do. Or just know a guy, he may be selling you something shady. It wasn't, let's go to buysomgear.com, put the order in, get it illegally in the mail. So if I get caught, that's another charge. And then take it. That's not what we were doing, bro. Like, cats was not doing that. It was, you work hard, you train, and then they come to you. You wouldn't ask nobody. They throw you out. They break some bones. You get hurt. Like the gym was wild. Gym was wild, bro. And I'm gonna talk about that too. Now it's just whatever. Like kids don't even, like you talking about trend. You trying to mess yourself up. They even like I remember first time I went to go get a protein bar. They be saying stuff that don't even make sense. Oh, you don't need that. Your body will make that 7 times over. Really, my body's making protein, bro. I mean, like just from like amino acids aren't an essential macronutrient. Like I just no, you need to take protein, bro. Anyways, but still, it was like the understanding. It's cold in here too, yo. But it's a little cold. I got it cold on purpose, but it's because we in the heat. It's cold. Anyways, and the whole point was I put a shirt on. That's what I need to do. The whole point was that you're in your peak and you're growing into your peak. Maximize your natural androgens. They're gonna peak, bro. Like you're gonna be peaked out unless you do something stupid or something's going on with you. You should hit your peak like about 26, 27. You shouldn't be unless you really like that. Like, and you'll know if you're like that. You don't even need to be worried about gear or none of that. Like Phil Heath, he was training, he took off. He was like that. So he was actually like bodybuilding, going pro. Like he said, I'm going into bodybuilding after basketball wasn't really hitting. But he was already like you could tell he was already like that because he was playing basketball and was built. If you look in the mirror, like if you look like you don't lift, or people don't ask you already, basically, if you're on the super soldier serum while you're natural, optimize your natural hormones first because you're probably not going to make it. That's all I'm saying. Especially if you've been training. Especially if you've been, and I mean like, by the time you get old enough, if you've been training and you look good already, okay, but you're already old enough. But if you're a kid, and by kid I mean anybody under 26, like your frontal lobe don't even really finish developing until like 26, 27. I don't even know why they let you drink alcohol young, because they need the bread probably, and they probably figure you may not live up. They need to update that a little bit, but yeah, your brain's not even fully developed yet. Most people I know that end up waiting until like 26, 27, they don't end up using anyways because they're satisfied with their progress and their bodies. So my nose is literally running because it's cold in here. Yeah. Don't make no stupid decision when you're young, because you got all the hormones that you need. Like growth hormone, unless you go crazy with it, which most of y'all can't afford. I mean, your girl probably can if she on OnlyFans. But unless you like squeaking off the guy behind a 7-Eleven or something, like at least 5 of them an hour, bro, you're not affording growth hormone at your age anyways. Unless your parents are giving you the money, but yeah. Anyways, so it's not even recommended that you use that until you get to a certain age, because you don't need it. Your natural growth hormone is going buck right now. You don't, like, there's no drug a young person, I'm like on this for a minute, but there's no drug a young person, especially under 26, 27, can really optimize unless you already like that, dude. And what I mean is like that, like, you like that. Let me talk. Ronnie Coleman turned pro, 1992 Team Universe, I believe it was. It could have been even 91. As a natural, he was in the greatest NPC National Championship because everybody in that lineup turned pro. Flex Wheeler, Kevin Roney won, by the way. Kevin Roney, Flex Wheeler, Paul DeMayo, Ronnie Coleman got 4th. Matt Mendenhall, who everybody agreed should have turned pro, but we don't really know why that never came to fruition. He was there, and he didn't even look his best, but he looked good still. And that's just that class. Like, that whole show was crazy. And Ronnie Coleman was natural, turned pro natural, and we saw what he did once he was competing as a pro. He even made it to the Olympia natural. He ain't do nothing in Olympia. He got waxed. But that's till 94. I think 94, like 95, 96 is when he took the serum. That his whole thing was, that was whole lifetime natural, Ronnie Coleman, And if you watch and you see the metamorphosis, you're like, oh, Ronnie was really like that. Ronnie Coleman said he only started working out because people would ask him if he worked out because he was already muscular. Ronnie Coleman's mom had biceps and never worked out. Okay? And he only got in the bodybuilding for the free membership. But he only started working out initially because people would see him walking around and ask him, do you work out? And he got tired of having to say no because people didn't believe him. So he just started working out. That's different. He's different. Kai Green, natural pro in multiple organizations, turns pro, I believe, in 2004 at the Team U. He was a natural pro, multiple organizations in the 90s. Like, he was dope. That's what he was known for. And then goes to the IFBB, gets waxed on, waxed off, whacked on and whacked off, and then bust on a watermelon. And then finally it's like, you know what? We got to make it shake. And just metamorphosis. Like, you see year after year, I believe maybe 06, 07 is probably when he started, because you start seeing him make those leaps and gains. And it's the only person that can handle him. If Phil Heath wasn't in the show, he wasn't losing. He won 5, I believe at least 5 Arnold Classics, maybe 2 or 3 Ohio, and then like 2 or 3 other ones. He wasn't getting touched. Phil Heath wasn't that. I don't believe Phil Heath. He may have been natural at his first show, but I don't think he stayed natural very long. But he still like barely did anything when he turned pro, at least, because he turned pro right away. But he was playing basketball. He was already like that. You saw him playing basketball. I knew he was like that. So if you're not like that, stay natural as long as possible. It is the point, because you're not gonna make it shake. Like, they was dusting folks off. Sean Roden was real good natural back in the day before he took a layoff. Then he turned pro in 09. I believe now that when he turned pro, he was on. I believe he did use some stuff when he went to the North Americans, I believe. But Chris Aceto says like he basically was natural because his drugs were fake. Because like I said, well, I did another video before this. I don't know if I mentioned it in this one, but you had to go buy the drugs off a dude. There was no Janishik testing or none of that. You weren't like going, like you had to go and trust that the dude was selling you stuff, was really selling you stuff, and you couldn't just get it tested. His stuff ended up being fake. Anyways, so if you're not like that, stay natural as long as possible. Especially if you don't have serious aspirations, but try natural. There are natural organizations, even at NPC and IFBB are booming up their natural shows to the point that you can be a natural your whole life. Think of that. Go into the IFBB natural and compete natural. You couldn't even do that until like last year. Like they had natural shows, but like they was cheese. Anyways, so even that now is an option for you guys. And then if you're doing well there, take it to the next level. But I believe RD Caldwell, he turned pro natural, went to the classic. I don't know if he's competing now, but he might be. Now there's more natural shows. So if he hasn't been, he's probably coming back because he was pretty good natural. I used to follow him. Natural bodybuilding really used to smack, bro. Also, Mania was always questionable. I ain't gonna lie, but there's other good natural organizations where the folks is really naturals. Anyways, so the point there is first point that I took forever to get to. If you're not like that, bro, don't stay off drugs. I'm gonna do a part 1 and 2 and 3. Stay off drugs. This is part 1. If you're not like that, stay off the performance enhancing drugs. Part 2, I'm gonna talk about with a shirt on. I'm gonna talk about what we used to do. What the conversations was like before folks was really focused on the drugs. But I don't want to hold y'all longer. You're not like that, stay off the drugs. How you gonna